Hello and welcome back to Weird Stuff Not in a Can. Actually, this isn't an episode of Weird Stuff in a Can. I thought it'd just be nice to actually have a look at some of the lovely things people have given me for Christmas this year. So yeah, sometimes I think it's a little bit vulgar showing off all of your Christmas presents. However, my friends, family and colleagues do know that I enjoy different tastes and different flavour sensations and exploring different kinds of foods and interesting things to eat and drink. And so they very kindly this year given me a lot of different interesting things to try, including a bunch of rather nice looking ales. So I've got Serendipity Black Rye IPA there, and I've got some lovely Christmas ale. Nice Japanese beer there as well, which I've never tried before, so that'll be interesting. Now the beers I will review on Instagram, so if you're interested in finding out about those, please do follow me on Instagram. Details are right here. But let's get on and have a look at these things, the other things which are not beer. We've got a nice Portugal in a box here, which has got some hot sauce, some pate, a tin of sardines, and particularly interesting, it's got some pumpkin jam, pumpkin and walnut jam. We will be tasting that in this video today. I've got some porcini chocolate. Now I like porcinis and I like chocolate, and I never thought of combining those two flavours. That will be very interesting to taste. We'll do that in this video. All of these things here we will taste in this video today. I've got some carob halva from Cyprus. And I've got two varieties of tea. I've got Brussels sprout flavour tea and pigs in blankets flavour tea. And the Brussels sprout flavour tea has actually got granulated Brussels sprouts in it. The other one is kind of lapsang souchong with apple pieces and flavouring and sage and rosemary, so it's kind of sausage flavour. So, right, where should we start? Well, I think we'll get the kettle on and we'll go and make a cup of tea. In fact, 2 cups of tea, these two. So we've got 2 nice hot cups of water here. Let's get these tea bags open. I like the design on this box here, actually. I may even cut that side panel out and use it as gift tags in the future, but let's, anyway, open up the Brussels sprouts flavour tea. I suppose I need to get my nose in that box, don't I? Okay, just smells like tea so far. So, making it in a cup, which I don't think I would be advised to make this in the teapot in case I get in trouble with the missus. So, and this is the pigs in blankets tea. Oh, now that does smell really smoky and herby. So that's interesting, but that's lapsang souchong tea, so it is a smoky flavoured tea. So let's leave those in to steep, just for a little while. And then we'll put those aside. We'll let our tea brew while we taste something else. So, I think next we'll go for the porcini chocolate. So like I say, porcini chocolate, I love porcini mushrooms and I like chocolate, but I never thought of putting the two things together. So it says, porcini chocolate is one of my patented flavour combinations invented by pure accident. It's an embodiment of naive forager collection, and it is never viewed with indifference. I collect the wild porcini mushrooms and combine them with velvety chocolate using a specially engineered method. Why not take a little forage yourself and embrace your adventurous side? Okay, so this is the product of... This is a product of Lithuania. Interesting. I've got to say also, while we're here, I love the pack design. That is a fantastic piece of art right there on the pack. Anyway, let's just open this up and see what we got inside. So again, a lovely piece of art there, lovely little picture of the king of the mushroom kingdom, and I tend to agree. A little bit of flavour, tasting notes and information there. Really lovely piece of packaging. And here we have the porcini chocolate. So, let's open it up. I am naive, that's quite interesting. Let's open this up. Okay, well, it smells both savoury and sweet. Let's break off a little bit and taste it. Just to say also, the design there is on the chocolate, which is rather lovely. let's have a little taste. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting because it does taste of the savoury mushroominess of porcini mushrooms, but it also tastes of very good quality chocolate. And I expected to find that really, really weird and unpleasant. And yet, yeah, there is definitely something about the earthy nuttiness of chocolate, of really good quality dark chocolate, and porcini mushrooms. It does go together. It actually works. How amazing. I'm really surprised. And kind of pleased by that. That's really good. I don't think that's going to be for everybody's taste because it is quite a weird distinctive flavour, but do you know what? Those two flavours do go together. So there we go. That's porcini chocolate. That was an interesting, and I think that's a win, that one. So let's have a look let's check in on this tea. Are we ready to... Yeah, I think that's probably sufficiently brewed. Let's have that tea bag out of there. Okay. And likewise, the Pigs in Blankets tea, I think is probably brewed as much as I need it to. So, too hot to drink at the moment, so let's just set those aside for a moment while we look at our next item. So we're going to have a look at this Cyprus carob halva now. So I used to live in Cyprus as a child, and my sister went back there on holiday this year, and she's brought me back this Cyprus carob halva. Now carobs, if you don't know, I tasted raw carobs in a video which I will link to in the description. I tasted raw carobs in a video that I will link to down in the description when I was in Spain last year. But this is from Cyprus, and let's have a look. So ingredients, this is halva. Obviously it's a confection made from sesame seeds and nuts, and in this case it's topped with like a carob syrup by the look of it. Okay. So there we go, it's kind of vacuum packed, so let's open that up. I'll get a plate for this. Very sticky and gooey. Let's cut a chunk of that off and taste it. So there we go, this is carob halva from Cyprus. Wow. Really, really nutty. Really sweet. That carob topping is like a dark treacle almost topping on the top. So yeah, really impressed with that. That's carob halva. I'm going to have another look at that. Lovely. So yeah, I expected that to be nice and I was not disappointed. Lovely. Okay, so that's carob halva. Now, I wonder if these teas are cool enough to taste now. So we've got Brussels sprouts tea and Pigs in Blankets tea. Let's have a sniff of this Brussels sprouts tea. Well, it does smell like Brussels sprouts. So really what I'm drinking here is tea blended with cabbage water. Let's have a... kind of not looking forward to this. You know what? I like sprouts. And sprouts are a much maligned vegetable. But I'm not sure about tea. Anyway, let's have a taste. Yeah. Okay. It's just like green tea, but... yeah. Green tea that's been made with cabbage water. Yeah. I think that's about what I'm going to drink of that one. So yes, not exactly a palate cleanser, that one. Okay, so now we've got the Pigs in Blankets tea. Now it smells really incredibly smoky, but that's Lapsang Souchong for you. So anyway, let's have a taste. Yeah, actually that's nice. Now I'm not a massive fan of lapsang souchong. I really don't go for the smoky taste in tea, but that's not bad. And so that's a bit like lapsang souchong with some thyme and sage in it. So it's like a herbal lapsang souchong tea. And of the two, I would say that's probably the most mainstream appealing. Like I say, I don't think I'm actually going to drink either of these in the full cup. But of the two, I think that's probably the better one. That's obviously the more interesting one, Brussels sprouts tea. It's a novelty gift. and I do appreciate the thought. But I think of the two, even though that's the more funny one, that's probably the one that's got more potential to be enjoyed by more people. So, now we move on to the taste of Portugal. Now, I'm not going to eat all of the things in here on camera today. However, I am very curious about this pumpkin jam. So yeah, pumpkin jam, big thing in Portugal apparently, and it's typically eaten with cheese or cream cheese. So I'm just going to go off and find something that I can have this with. I don't have the authentic cream cheese that they have in Portugal, but I'll find something which is hopefully a close enough approximation that I'm getting the genuine flavour experience and treating it with the respect it deserves, I hope. So I'm going to go off and find myself a bagel and cream cheese to have this on. Meanwhile, let's have a look at last year's cheese and the pickles I made during the summer. So today we're going to taste these pickles that I made earlier in the year. I made these at the end of summer. So we've got pickled walnuts and we've got two varieties of pickled blackberries here. And I've got my cheese from last year as well. So let's get into this and have a look and see what we're dealing with. So this cheese I bought at Sainsbury's in the January sales this year. Best before date 25th of January 18. So in theory out of date, but in practice it's cheese, so it should have gone off as much as it's going to go off. Let's open it up and see what it's like inside. Interesting. It's acquired a little bit of a surface bloom there, but pretty sure that's going to be completely sound and fine to eat. Let's have a look. So let's just have a little taste of this cheese on its own first. So that's just now a really nice, nutty, mature cheddar. So let's accompany that with some crackers. So let's start with the pickled walnuts. Oops, making a mess of the table. So these are pickled walnuts. I picked these on St. Catherine's Hill in Winchester. Let's see what they're like. Wow, lovely and soft. And yeah, inside they've pickled all the way through, which is exactly what I hoped for and expected. So let's try a bit of that. So we go for a bit of cheese and a bit of pickled walnut. Always really good. Pickled walnuts for me, they always amaze me. It always amazes me how much flavour you can get out of something that's entirely vegetable based. Pickled walnuts for me are a bit like Worcestershire sauce actually in flavour and complexity and depth. Yeah, definitely a good result, that one. So that's my pickled walnuts. Next we've got pickled ripe blackberries. So I went and picked a bunch of fully ripe blackberries and I pickled them in the same pickling liquor that I used for my pickled walnuts. So let's see what these are like. So again, a little bit of cheese. Let's have a pickled blackberry on there. See what that's like. Oh wow. Those are surprisingly good. And what's happened here is the pickling, rather than masking the flavour of the blackberry, has really enhanced it. So that tastes like a fresh, ripe blackberry. That's really good. I thought somehow the flavour of the blackberries might be lost in the mix, but what we've actually got here is something that's really, really preserved the summery flavour of ripe blackberries. Yeah, that is good. Okay, now this is the one I thought was a bit experimental. So this is pickled unripe blackberries. So I went out and picked, right at the end of the season, some red blackberries which had not ripened. And these had to be brined for 10 days before they could be pickled in wine vinegar. I don't think there's any sugar in this vinegar. I can't remember. Let's have a taste of these then. So, again, tiny bit of cheese. And a pickled blackberry. Wow. Really zingy and interesting, actually. Not what I expected from blackberries. They taste almost like they've got the complexity almost of capers or something like that, or olives. That's interesting. I guess that's the brining process that's made that happen. So let's have another go at those. I reckon those would go really well with a cream cheese or something like that. Quite sharp. Okay, so my favourite of the bunch here, I think, is going to be the pickled ripe blackberries. Just really impressed with the way the hedgerow flavour of ripe blackberries has survived through to the pickled product here. Awesome. So that is my pickles from earlier in this year. All of them a success in their own way, and all of them interesting. But yeah, as I say, I think my favourite is going to be the pickled ripe blackberries. Okay, so I know this isn't going to be completely authentic, but it's probably about the best approximation I can make using locally available ingredients. So we're going to try this pumpkin jam on a bagel with cream cheese. So let's take a look at this. Very neutral aroma. Let's have a look. Quite a soft texture, actually. Looks a bit like apricot jam. So we'll just spread a bit of that on one side of that bagel, like that. And let's have a little taste. Oh, that's nice. I think I detect a little bit of cinnamon in there. Whilst it's, in terms of fruit flavour, it's quite neutral. It's got a little bit of spice in there, and of course the nuts as well. It makes it really tasty. Definitely glad to have discovered that. That's really delicious. So thanks so much for joining me on this little taste of Christmas today. And if you're one of the people that gave me one of these gifts, then thank you again for your generosity and thoughtfulness. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.